Hi folks, in this video we're going to be taking an image off of a fellow YouTuber and putting it on a mug. Another good way of possibly earning an income this one. Keep watching. Right, well, there's many YouTube channels out there, as you probably know, and if you're looking for a way of possibly expanding your hobby, don't forget, if you're treating this as a hobby the way I suggest, and if you spend a bit of time throughout the day just choosing channels which you've probably got an interest in, for one, you might subscribe to certain people's channels who you really got a passion for example, and it might be worth you just dropping them either a message. I wouldn't say suggested doing it in the comment section. I'd send them a private message, or if you look on their about us page, let's just head over to YouTube and I'll show you what I mean. Right, so let's just open up YouTube. So let's say just camping, for example. Now you might be a camper, you might have a very big interest in camper, and as you can probably see there, we've got 9,160,000 results there of the camping videos there. And although some of these might be old, if you change the filters up here for this month, this will show you obviously the most recent videos that have been uploaded. So these are active people, because you may find a video where someone has or got a channel where it might be 6 or 7 years old and they're not active on eBay anymore, YouTube anymore. So by just changing the filters you can actually find the most recent people. So then, for example, this chap here, he's just uploaded 1 day ago and he's already got 82,000 views. So if we just click on his channel link there, for example, as you can see, he's got 153,000 subscribers. Now normally when people have got successful channels, you'll probably find that they've got links here to other things. For example, might be an Instagram page, Twitter, Facebook page or whatever, but they may not have a presence with regards to merchandising. So all I would personally do would be to go to the about page for that person. Don't forget, this is something you may be interested in, and on the about page there's normally for business inquiries link there where you can click on their email address or view their email address, and then it just says I'm not a robot there, and it's a capture thing. You tick a box there, for example, and then press submit. And then it says select all squares. This is just a, so that one. This is just a new thing that Google and YouTube do to prove that you're not a spamming robot, for example. So I'm just gonna have to go through this procedure first of all. This is something I've never done before. I'm not a robot. It's just tick the box there and then just click submit. And then it will allow you access to that person's email, and you can actually send them an email directly and just say you're a great fan of their channel, for example, you've been following them for a long time, would you like us, or would you like me to make a unique mug for your channel, just to see what you think, and you might want to give them away in the future as some sort of bonus or whatever, but I'll do one for you first of all just so that you can approve it. And this is one way of getting in. Now if you do about maybe 5 or 6 or maybe sort of 10 a day in the interested videos that you're interested in, there's no reason why you shouldn't get any trade off of that. I've got a brother-in-law who's also got a YouTube channel, and this is his channel here. So if we just pop over to his channel, again he runs a little local chat show, and we've done merchandising for him before, and he gives it away to his subscriber base. So he's got quite a few videos there, as you can probably see. But again, small local channel, but he's got a small dedicated following, and at the end of the day he's creating his own merchandise for them. And you know, it's all about these little ways in of finding niches and customers if you haven't got any niches or customers at all. So basically what we've done, he's got a logo made up which we're going to actually have a look at now. So if I just go to my desktop, for example, I'll just open it up. This is his logo which he sent us, and he wants this put on a ceramic mug. So we're going to go through the procedure now to take this image, put it, size it in Photoshop, and then arrange for it to go on a mug. So let's do that now. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to be using Photoshop CS3. There is a program out there called GIMP, and you can just type in GIMP Photoshop into Google and you'll find it. It's a very similar program to Photoshop, but it's what you call open source. In other words, it's a free funded piece of software, and it works in a very similar way. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube for it as well if you're interested, or you may have some other photo editing software and you'll probably be able to do the same thing as this. You can do this in any version of Photoshop. I've got Photoshop CS3 installed on my PC, but you can do it in any Photoshop elements, even the very old ones. There's not really much skill needed or different tools needed, although Photoshop is a very complicated program. You only need to know a little bit of the basics to get you where you need to be. So I'm just going to go and click File and New, and I want a page which is A4 size, because that's the size of my transfer paper. So I'm going to go to International Paper, and from the drop down menu I'm going to choose A4, then click OK. Well, there's our A4 sheet of paper, and I'm just going to leave that open there for the moment. And now I'm going to click File again and New again, and this time I'm going to make it a certain size, and the size I want in centimeters, I want the width to be 21 centimeters, and I want the height to be 8.5 centimeters. This is the width and height of the mug wrap which I'm going to be putting onto our A4 sheet of paper. But this is an individual wrap size, as you can see there. All I'm going to do is to bring our image in and put it onto this page. So now I'm going to go to File again, and this time Open, and that item is on my desktop. So I'm just going to locate it on my desktop, and there it is. Click it once and then click Open, and there's our image. And all I'm going to do then is just to drag our image by putting the arrow on the Move tool there, and then putting my mouse over the image, left click, and then just drag it onto that page. Now, as you can see there, it's a lot smaller than it needs to be, so we've either got to increase its size, and the way to do that is to hold the Shift key down on the keyboard. Make sure the Show Transform button is on the keyboard up there by just clicking that, and there's our little box around. So if you hold the Shift button down and then drag a corner out, as you can see, it will increase in size in scale. So I'm just going to take the diagonals and take it where it needs to be. Now, as you see, if I take the left box there, this would stretch the image sideways like that. Now, in some instances, you might be able to get away with that. So let's just try that, and hopefully it won't distort it too much. Just that we take it around probably to as far as we can. Now, I'm looking at that and thinking that's probably going to be okay. So we'll just click OK there by ticking the little box, and once I've got that, I can close the big image up now, because I don't need that anymore, to get that out of the way. So this is now our mug wrap size, and this is the size which I'm just going to literally drag onto the page below, which is our A4 page, and let go. And I'm just going to move it to the top of the page there, and I'm quite happy with that. And as you can see down there, that's that layer. And if I switch that layer off by just taking the eyeball out of the page, as you can see there, it makes it disappear. So that's how you turn a layer on and off of a page. And all I'm going to do is just to hover over the blue layer, and then right click on it, and then up there where it says duplicate layer, and I'm going to leave it just layer 1 copy. Just click OK. Now what that's done is duplicated that layer. We've got 2 layers now. They're both sitting on top of each other at the moment. So if I just use my down arrow and just bring it down, you could do it with the mouse, but I like doing it with the button because it brings it down in directly in a straight line. And then put it there again. And then if I do another right click on that one, and then duplicate layer again, that'll be layer 2 this time, as you can see. Now again, I've got 3 layers there now, as you can see. And this top layer which I'm on, I just need to drop down with the down arrow again and watch it, and as you can see straight away, all nicely lined up, I've now got the 3rd layer on that page. Now if I want to move the second layer again, you've got to click the second layer. So I'm clicking the middle layer now. This then becomes activated, and I'll just shift that up a bit until I get them nicely on the page the way I want them. And the bottom one again, just bring that up a tad, and there we go. I'm happy with that, all 3 layers on the page. So just to see whether this is all right, I'm just going to print this out just to have a visual at it first of all, to see how stretched it may or may not look. So I'm just going to do that on my normal printer at the moment. What if I turn the printer on? So yeah, I mean, that's how simple that you can create an image. I haven't had to create that image, the customer had that created, or the possible customer. And most channels that have got subscribers, a good subscriber base, have got some sort of image or logo or stuff like that. And if not, there's places on the net where you can actually suggest that. Go to a channel or choose channels that seem to have a logo, or you can normally tell they've got the banner head of their YouTube channel. It's normally got a banner or whatever. And just say you love your channel, you've been a subscriber for a long time. I'm in the market of printing mugs. Could I do you one sample mug, say for $8.99 or something, fully shipped? Because we charge $5.99 for our mugs normally, and we also charge £3 shipping. So that's $8.99. Just say for $8.99 you'll ship it for free, and you know, you can have that in your videos to show that you've got some sort of merchandise. And you never know, if you do a video where people can buy your stuff, it could generate you another income, and I could sell you them a little bit cheaper. So work on things like that. If you've got no customers, there's loads and loads of channels in the genre that you're interested in. Bearing in mind you're treating it as a hobby, just spend a bit of time building up a client base. And to do that, it either takes time or money. If you're niche hunting or trying to find niches, forget about mailing lists and things like that. Go to people who possibly might want merchandise. And that's the way, another way that you could possibly get in to slowly building up and creating sales online for you to sell your mugs to. You might have Facebook pages, you might have, there's loads of groups on Facebook. Another simple way, tell the people in groups that you can do them their mug, because everyone likes to promote themselves, or they like to think that they like to show other people that they're doing well in their business, and having merchandise or branded goods promoting their own channels is a way that shows people that you're doing well, so to speak. So let's have a look at this. Right, well, this is just printed on normal paper at the moment. And looking at that, I think that's perfect. That is just the right size. It doesn't look stretched whatsoever. I'm just going to cut this out and show you what it would look like laying on a mug. Right, so let's just cut one of these out. Again, this is not our transfer paper, as you know. This is just a basic bit of paper. And all I'm doing is just sizing the mug to see what it looks like. And all I'm doing is just cutting it out, as I say, to see whether the image, what it will look like on our mug. So I'm not wasting any valuable ink here whatsoever. Right, okay, so that's one cut down to size. Let's get a mug. Now these matte finish mugs, I quite like these. You can't see it, but they've got no sheen on them whatsoever. They're a nice matte finish and they give a nice porcelain look to an object. Right, so I'm happy with that. So looking at that, that's what our mug will look like, and I think that the wording and the actual design doesn't look stretched at all. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print that image on my sublimation paper, and then we're going to print this out. Now don't forget that the sublimation printer I use, I run it with the Sawgrass inks, the Sublijet R inks, and I also use the Power Driver software with that. Now that is a software that actually converts the image, rotates the image, or flips the image rather, and it also alters the colour profiles of your printer to match the inks, the Sawgrass inks. Now if you're working with a Mac, I don't think you can get the Power Driver software with the Mac. They do make some sort of alternative software so that you can match the Sawgrass profiles, but if you go to the Sawgrass website you'll get more information of that there. If you're working off a PC like I do, the Power Driver software is what you want to be using with your Ricoh printer, and I've mentioned this many times before, I've never had any issues whatsoever with the Ricoh printer. I use the Sublijet R inks, which is the gel-based inks, and I don't use a CISS kit. I don't need it. The inks last an absolute age, and I've never had any problems with the printer at all, as opposed to the loads and loads of Epson printers I've used in the past. Every one of them has clogged up, and I've blocked print heads to the extent where I couldn't clean the print heads, and I've had to buy new printers. So, lesson for you there: don't buy any other printer apart from the Ricoh. I've been doing this for, I'm in my 12th year now, and the proven reliability over that length of time has been with the Ricoh printers. Right, well, I'm over here at our mug printing business, and I'm just going to open up Coral Draw. I've got Coral Draw 12 there, as you can see, and I'm just going to click on New Paper, and that brings up a new A4 sheet. The reason why I'm using Coral Draw here is because it works well with the PowerDriver software, and it's just the one that I've chosen. I've never, you can import Photoshop into this, but I just never bothered doing it. It just suits my needs. So all I'm going to do is to locate that image, which is on my computer, and I'm just going to copy that, and I'm just going to literally right click onto the page and click paste, and that should drop that image right onto our paper. Now, I've not resized it or anything, I've literally just dropped it, and once it's on the page, I'm just going to go up to the Coral Draw. You don't need to understand or know or work Coral Draw, and I'm just going to click print. That opens up the software box there, as you can see, for the print. And as you can see, I've got the PowerDriver GX3300N selected in the drop down menu. When you install the PowerDriver software, you don't want to have it set on Gel Sprinter GX3300N, which is the default settings. You need to have the PowerDriver GX3300N in your printer properties, and that should be set as your main driver, because that alters all your color profiles when you actually run and install the PowerDriver software. And then all I'm going to do is to click print. I'm not going to reverse the image or anything, because the PowerDriver software automatically does that itself. So this is going to print out now onto our sublimation transfer paper, and then we'll cut it to size and put it on the mug. Right, here we go. As you can see, I've printed these out now, and they're on our sublimation paper. And when you print out on your sublimation paper, you'll probably find that the ink looks quite muted in colour when using these Sublijet R inks. That's the way it's supposed to be, because when they gas out onto your mug, they then become vibrant. So there's our 3 images. So I'm just going to cut the strip into an individual image, and again, straightforward job, nothing complicated here, like that. I'm going to keep them other 2. Now, I know this customer wants 40 mugs printed, so again, we're just going to do this one. And what I like to do is to say, rather than cut these with scissors, use a straight edge, use a straight line, so that when you're wrapping it around your mug, as we're going to do here, you know exactly that if you hold that line at the bottom or at the top, you know that that's going to be the exact right, and it's not going to be tilted, the graphic, when you put it on. So the only thing you've got to do is to centralise the handle at the back. So just cut the actual thing, the transfer, and just rotate it until you get the mug, until the handle is central, like that. And all I'm doing then is just going around the mug, just making sure that the image is in the correct orientation, and I'm happy with that. Just the same all the way around, and that just ensures that it's straight. And then get your heat tape. Don't forget, this is heat tape I just get off of eBay. It's not any special brand at all, and that's it. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to turn the heat press on now, and let's get this pressed. And as you probably know, I use the Mug Press Pro from Subli Blanks. Now, there are a different version of this one, which you may find on eBay, for example, but the one to get is from Subli Blanks, which has got this big thick metal carrier sheet there for the actual heated element. There is another version of this which isn't sold by Subli Blanks, and it's not up to the same standard, I don't think, and it doesn't have this big thick metal plate on it. So this is the one to go for. And also, depending on what model you have as well, Subli Blanks over the last couple of years have changed the control boards in these to operate in a slightly different way. You may have noticed in one of my earlier videos where I waited till the temperature come up and then I used to put the mug in, the temperature used to drop, and then when the temperature come back up again, I used to physically then start the timer off. Well, this does it automatically, so when this comes up to temperature now and you put the mug in, the temperature will dive down, and then it will come back up as it heats the mug up, because don't forget the mug goes in cold, and when it reaches the desired temperature, then it will start its countdown. So anyway, I'm going to put the mug in now. Now don't forget, I'm putting that way in first because we've got a little mug stop on there to make sure that we cover the whole mug. So just drop that in there and then bring the handle up, hold the handle so it's in the centre, don't forget. Close it down, and as you can probably see there, the temperature now is starting to dip down, and it goes right the way down to, well, as you can see, way down to 104 degrees there, and then it will now start to climb again as it heats the mug up. So I'm going to let that do that and do its cooking time, and then we'll whip the mug out when it's ready. So as I've said to you on many occasions, when you start this business off, treat it as a hobby, because there's going to be a learning curve, and it's not just a matter of learning to use the equipment and the times. A lot of people say, I don't know what inks I'm going to get, I don't know, and they go into forums. Now forums are full of people who do different things different ways, and in their estimation all their ways are right, and it's very hard to follow one person directly, because no one really wants to give away their secrets or tell you how successful they're doing, because with the fear of you being copying them. Well, I don't mind you copying me. I've been doing this for 12 years now. What you do as a beginner isn't going to affect me whatsoever, so that's why I don't mind sharing with you what I do, the barriers I came up against when I first started off, and as I say, I'll show all them in my mug printing tutorial DVD. And a lot of people don't realise that I also provide full email support with that DVD, and that in itself is invaluable, because you're going to come up against problems, you're going to need questions that need answering, and you won't always get what you want to hear in a forum, because you've got different people employing different methods all the time. The methods I show you are the methods I've used for the last 12 years, and these are the ones that I've successfully used and still use to this day. The only thing that's changed is my equipment, where I've upgraded or updated my equipment, but I've been through the procedures of buying cheap rubbishy equipment, or using the wrong printing equipment, for example, spending a lot of money on the very dear sublimation inks, and for that to be wasted in certain types of printers. That's all the information which I share in the DVD, and that's why I don't want you to go down that road and get disheartened. The first thing you want to do, learn how to work the equipment, get the right equipment, and then learn how to find niches. What I'm saying to you about YouTube is a simple way anyone can go in and contact successful people with YouTube channels who have probably got a bit of a disposable income and would like the idea of merchandising, because anyone who's got a YouTube channel like myself, for example, and it's pretty successful, you like to have merchandise to promote your channel, and it's good to give to your subscribers or sell to your subscribers. And you being in the mug printing game, it is another way in, but you've got to dedicate amount of time per day to maybe contact 5 or 10 people, and if you're doing that every day, 7 days a week, before you know it, that will start to drip feed, and more people will start to hear about you, and you may get orders come off of the back of it. That's a little way forward with you being a brand newbie coming into this game without any customers, because no one's exploited that yet. No one's exploited that. It's there for the taking. A lot of people have got geared into internet marketing, where they are told that you've got to earn hundreds of pounds a week right from the get-go. That doesn't happen. So make something your hobby, make it a passion, grow with it, and then if you're doing the right things, little steps at a time, you will start to develop a customer base, and that could then mean repeat orders. We get loads of repeat orders from customers in our mug printing and in our t-shirt printing business, and this is where you've got to start off right at the very beginning, just like we did 12 years ago, and build up one step at a time. You can do it, you've just got to learn how to and be patient with it. Right, okay, nearly there now, 8 seconds left. There we go. Let's turn it off. Just take the mug out. It's going to be hot, don't forget. These things do get really hot. Now some people put these down and let them cool off. I just take it off while it's hot, to be honest with you. Pull one of that little strips off, and there we go. Very, very hot at the moment. And as you can see, these mugs, I like them. I think they're lovely. They look lovely and subtle. That's not fading down there, by the way. That's just the way that the chamfer went on the graphic, so don't worry about that. Look at that lovely crisp image on there in our customer's own personal design. Very nice indeed. And this is going to be going to Sharon's brother. He doesn't know it yet. He has asked for 40 to be done, but as I say, we wanted to try out these sort of matte satin finished mugs. They're like a porcelain finish, and I quite like them. And I think he's going to like that too. So there we go. There's a little way in. YouTube channels. Contact them. Take the time out. Just have a little contact of the people on different YouTube channels. Maybe that you've got an interest in, that you've been a subscriber to, and offer them a mug. What's the worst that can happen? They say no or they don't reply. A lot of people would like merchandise like this, and if you do them a one-off, there's a good chance that they may want more. Anyway, hope that was of some help to you. My name's Martin Butler, and we'll see you again in the next vid. And until then, bye for now.